So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Well, come on, yeah, at least I can get a, yeah, itni attention to mujhe milni chahiye, right? Alright, once again, good morning everyone. Good morning. Well, I love that. I love that energy, and I kind of love that kind of energy to start my day with, this show with. Let me tell you all that you all are looking absolutely fresh, vibrant and smiling. So keep that smile on the entire day. I would love to see that. By the way, I'm your host, Zeenat Kapadia, and I welcome you all to MetKonnect Business Awards and Networking Conference for Entrepreneurship 2023. Taaliyan baja sakte hain aap log. Thank you so much. It's an association with Tips Incubation, an associate partner, B School, Rupee Boss, Prerna Engineering College, MSME Bharat Manch, and Yampool. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we all have gathered here today to have some really thought-provoking discussions, some amazing panel discussions, to gather insights about the industry, and of course, followed by some awards, rewards, recognition after that. Are you all excited for today? Yes? No, I don't think so. You all are excited. Are you guys excited for today? Sir, आपकी आवाज इतनी बुलंद है. I love it. I kind of love that energy.
The power of your voice in your speech.
Yes, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Certainly, एक बार जोरदार तालियां हो जाए for that energy. Thank you, sir.
After my dear friend Rajesh, we learned this together.
Well, we yet to witness that. जब सब बात करेंगे तब हम सुनेंगे उन्हें. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day. It's the time to showcase your initiatives, connect, engage, and actually engage for the future entrepreneurship. देवियों और सज्जनों, तो इसी के साथ हम आज के दिन का शुभारंभ करते हैं. And हम कुछ भी नया शुरू करने के पहले we take the blessings of Almighty. और आज भी हम यही करेंगे. भारतीय परंपरा का मान रखते हुए हम आज के दिन की शुरुआत करेंगे दिए को प्रज्वलित कर. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take the blessings of Almighty before we start today. And हमारे बीच में हमारे कुछ बहुत ही special guests हैं. We have a guest of honors, and I would request them to come on stage for the lamp lighting ceremony. And while I do that, I would request you all to please welcome them with a lot of love and applauses. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for our first guest, Mr. Agnelorajesh. So I would request you to please come on stage and join us. और तालियां और प्यार आप दिखा सकते हैं. Thank you so much. And the founder of MetKonnect, Mr. Sushil Wesh, the brainchild, सारी मेहनत करने की है. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder of Tips Incubation, Mr. Ganesh Gokhale. Sir, I would request you to please come on stage. And Mr. Robin Banerjee. Alright, he's yet to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, with a lot of love and applauses, please welcome Mr. Neville Sangvi and Mr. P.N. Shetty. Can I please have Mr. P.N. Shetty on stage? And lastly, Ms. Prerna Makhaira. I would request Prerna ma'am to please come on stage and join us. Ms. Prerna Makhaira, are you around? Alright, I believe she is yet to join us. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a round of applause for them? Thank you. Thank you so much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to move on with the event, and I would request to Mr. Sushil West to please join us on stage, the founder of MetKonnect and Sales and Marketing Director of Venovers Worldwide. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the brainchild, the man behind the amazing day, the amazing event that you see. All yours.
Thank you, Zeenat. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes. So, my name is Sushil and I'm founder of MetKonnect. So, I'll tell you something about MetKonnect basically. So, MetKonnect, एक सिंपल फिलोसफी लाइफ की, आप लोगों से मिलो और कनेक्ट हो जाओ. आई थिंक ग्रोथ करने का सबसे अच्छा तरीका यही है. राजेश सर एग्री करते हैं, राइट सर? सबसे अच्छा तरीका यही है. इसके लिए हमने ये कंपनी शुरुआत की कि जस्ट मीट एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, मिलो उनको और कनेक्ट हो जाओ. इसके लिए हमारी कंपनी का नाम MetKonnect है. तो हम बिलीव करते हैं कि नेटवर्किंग इज़ द बेस ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. और एक एंटरप्रेन्योर का जो आचरण होता है, आचरण ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योर इज एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. क्योंकि 5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी के लिए जाना जो हमारे पीएम का एम है, आज उनकी तरफ जाना, एक एंटरप्रेन्योर का आचरण इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड दैट आचरण इज एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. आई बिलीव सो, and that is why we are here. So I won't take much of time of yours क्योंकि program already 30 minute delay हो चुका है. तो thank you everyone, thank you Rupi Boss for being our associate partner, thank you Terna Engineering College, thank you Welinkers, and thank you MSME Bharat Manch for being here with us, and thank you everyone sitting here being a part of this beautiful program. Now we will kick start this program. I won't take much of time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sushil. Whenever you talk, we talk with a lot of passion and a lot of energy, and I really like that. Isn't it true? Doesn't he talk with a lot of energy and passion for his work? All right. And now we have yet another inspiring person, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon. It's a great pleasure and honor that I get an opportunity to welcome our special guest for our keynote speech. He's a true icon, and his presence here today is a testament to their remarkable achievement and contributions. With all our hearts, we welcome today's chief guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Agnelorajesh, a self-made serial and social entrepreneur. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a round of applause for Mr. Agnelorajesh?
Okay. So good morning, guys. I'm sure let's have a very interesting session, and we'll live up to the expectations for what you have traveled all the way on a lovely, lazy Saturday morning. I felt it's Saturday morning. So nice of you to be here. And what I'm going to be discussing is something that we always ponder upon, always we try to look upon. That's what I'm going to be discussing. And the name of the topic is the Entrepreneur's Compass. I love to say to people, I love to tell people that all of us need to write books. When you write a book on a topic, you become an authority on that topic. So when I started saying this to people, obviously I also had to keep up that same statement. So I also started writing books, and this is my third book, The Entrepreneur's Compass. It's going to be published in the next 2 to 3 months' time. I have converted that into a very nice conversation, which I'm going to be discussing with you. The need of the hour for each one of us at whatever stage of life and business that we are at. So it's a very interesting time for India today. We are on a growth path. It's a very visible country across the world. Lots of people didn't know India some 20 years back. Today there is no one who doesn't know India. There were people who knew Goa, but they didn't know India. And that was a surprising fact which I came across almost 20 years back on one of my travels. But today there is not a single person who doesn't know this great country, because for everybody, India is a very flourishing market, and business and attention travels to the place where there are customers. With 140 crore population, we are one of the best sought after markets in the whole world. And with the new changing dynamics in the global scenario, we have realized that everybody wants to invest in India, and grow with the country. And a developing country, when it's on the path to growth, becoming a developed country, the journey of money multiplication happens, and that's how the money flows to the country which is growing faster. So what happened with China in the last 60 years is going to happen to India in the next 60 years. That is, money will come into this country and entrepreneurs in this country will grow because we will provide products and services to the rest of the world. So the entrepreneur's compass is nothing but navigating your way to success. मतलब जहाँ ध्यान जाएगा वहीं पर growth होती है. So if we ponder on some points and realign ourselves in life, the results will change. Your efforts will become more productive. So that is the objective. Now, as entrepreneurs, I'm assuming that 100% of the people sitting in this room are entrepreneurs at different stages and phases of life. So as we get into entrepreneurship, definitely this is a very basic topic. Now, personality development is not what we understand about personality development. Personality is not only for the person doing that business, but it is also the personality of the business being done. And how you can correlate and connect with that particular activity and aspect is what we really need to look into and introspect. So when I say personality, I've got a very dear friend of mine, Neeraj here, sitting in here, who definitely guides and aligns your personality with the personality of your organization. And that's what we intend to be doing throughout as entrepreneurs. So personality development is a key trait. So what you do makes a difference, and you have to decide what kind of difference you need to be making. Now this is connected to definitely my second line, which is social and impact entrepreneurship. I love to say this, friends, that in this country, in our great country, India, during the independence time, when we achieved independence, the jiski takat, jiski lathi, uski bhais, that used to be the business strategy. Dadagiri wala business tha. Yeah, so you used to have a lot of muscle men and business used to happen that way. In the 90s, business started happening with the intelligence, 90s and the early 2000s. And that's when we saw the Tata consultancy services, Infosys of the world taking place, where people started making money, or organizations started making money on the power of the intelligence that they had. And information technology, IT, one of our previous prime ministers had a lovely quote where he said, IT is not only information technology, but IT is Indian territory and IT is India's tomorrow. That was the era. Now the era has totally changed. Now every entrepreneur, knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly, has to be a social and an impact entrepreneur. Now what do I mean by saying that? What I mean to be saying that is, entrepreneurs need to have a very sharp mind, that's a given, but it needs to be connected with a very warm heart. What your actions lead to, the result should not only be balance sheet and profit and loss account, but it should be what is the contribution that you do to the economy and to the society at large, and how you can transform lives. So that's what I mean by social and impact entrepreneurship. The impact of every person living. How many lives can it touch? And of course, the maximum reach is always achieved by an entrepreneur. So that's why I say social and impact entrepreneurship is the order of the day and the future to come. So I'm sure each one of us is definitely a social and an impact entrepreneur. And I love to say a little bit of good can turn into a whole lot of good. That's the objective of social and impact entrepreneurship. Well, friends, focus and perseverance is nothing new to any one of us in this room, but how sharp and how much is the question. You need to be focused. There is no other way. You can't sustain, survive, and grow if you are not focused. And secondly, perseverance, not giving up. The most common trait and strength of every entrepreneur is how strong he can persevere. And if you can do that, you win the game. Many a times, we are just one step short of achievement, one step short of success, and many of us give up. But there are a lot few who will not give up and continue persevering, and they achieve success. So definitely focus and perseverance, it's always important for every entrepreneur. It always seems impossible until it is done. And impossible is nothing but I am possible. Like my dear friend Harish Mehta would love to give a 3-hour session on how it is possible and how I am possible. So that's how it goes. But focus and perseverance is again a given. It's not a great trait. By default, you need to be having that. Well, mentor. When Sachin Tendulkar retired, even the day he retired, he had a batting coach. The world sees him as a god of cricket. But in spite of being the god of cricket, he also had a batting coach till the last date of his playing the game. A mentor definitely is absolutely required because he not only shows you way, he also goes the way along with you. So mentoring is critically important. Our chief want in life is somebody who will make us do what we can. And many a times, and most of the times, we ourselves cannot imagine what our capabilities and abilities are. And that is the mirror that a mentor shows to you. Now, even today, most of us, many of us, are the Eklavyas of the past. There are so many mentors who don't know they are being followed, but we follow them and learn so many things. I must be having 20 mentors. Digital media has made the whole world into a small village. If I want to follow somebody, if I want to hear somebody, I don't need to be present in the same room that he is, but I can still follow him, imbibe his thoughts, implement them in my life, and move ahead. So mentor is absolutely critically important, and each one of us does have it. The people whom we admire are nothing but our mentors. The people whom we go to for guidance are people who are actually directly and indirectly mentoring us. My dear friend Nayan Beda in this hall is also one of the mentors, mentoring so many startups. So these are all critical elements of how one can move forward with having the right mentors. Of course, networking. Well, we are here in this room because many of us didn't know each other before this session started. All of us will know each other after this session is over because we are going to network, we are going to co-create, and we are definitely going to go and know each other much better. I've got my dear friend Sangeet Kumar here. He is also a grandfather of networking. A lot of networking sessions which gets organized. Amit Bagwe from Artha Sanket, Namrata Thakkar from Entrepreneur Excel. These are all brilliant platforms where the objective of these people is to bring people together. What Sushil said, connect with a K, is absolutely so right. And it takes a lot of efforts to do this. But what basically happens, the person who gathers people also gets blessed with the people connecting him to the rest of the world. So Sushil, brilliant job done, and I'm sure your team is going to be doing this on a regular basis, and this is amazing. Filling the hall in this time is a very difficult task, especially in today's times where there are hundreds of events happening at the same particular time, same particular point of time. And with Ganesh Gokhale with you, who's a so fantastic organizer, visionary, and who can put things together, this kind of magic happens. So I feel networking is something which will give you some, which you never expected. You might just meet somebody who can change the course and the direction of your life. That one thought, that one opportunity, that one direction, that one change of decision can transform the way you did what you did. And this can happen only through networking. And friends, people whom you don't know sometimes bring the best surprises and the best opportunities in your life. I'm a firm believer of that. The real currency of networking is not greed but generosity. One of the first people that I heard this from many, many years back was Neeraj. Okay, the art of giving. Giving is the best form of living. And givers gain. This is what we have been hearing so many years. And that is in the true sense. If you start giving, you become a magnet, and then people want to oblige you by giving whatever you need without asking. So that's the power of networking, and that's how relationships can be built. I love to keep saying that relationship is the only ship that doesn't sink. There might be a misunderstanding, but every relationship is valuable. We should cherish and keep it to close of our hearts, to as close as possible. Now, as entrepreneurs, once we define this, we know the direction that we are traveling in. Disha badloge to dasha badalti hai. That's what every Vastu professional will tell you. But in real sense, in real life, that is what actually happens. We really need to carve out the right target market, the target audience, and the market. Friends, I love to say this, that if you ask the right question to a wrong person, you'll get a wrong answer. If you ask the wrong question to the right person, again, you'll get a wrong answer. So if you have the communication aimed at the right audience, your results, the productivity or efforts will multiply. It is critically important to define who your target audience is and where does your market reside. If we identify this, probably the same quantum of efforts will give a very differential kind of returns, not only in terms of revenues and business, but opportunities and way forward with multiple growth, empowered growth. So profits and valuation. All of us work for profits. Very few of us work for valuation. What I have understood in the past couple of years of my journey as an entrepreneur, that profits is something which keeps our fuel going, which keeps us going. But the actual profit at the end of the day, and the end of the day does not have to be the end of the life, the end of the day for that particular business is nothing but valuation. Initially, you have to work on the business and then the business works for you. For a lot of people in the world today, in every developed country, majorly people don't work on businesses. They work on the valuation of the business and then they exit and create a new business model. That culture is yet to come into India since we are a developing country. But valuation is the real bonanza, is the real bonus of the efforts and the labor of fruit that you would get to enjoy if you do it in a very calculative manner. Just do an introspection of the business that you are doing, and in the journey of your introspection, try to identify that the business that you are doing, is it giving you only profits or will it lead you to the way of valuation? So if valuation is focused upon, your profitability will also be improved along the journey. So profits and valuation, you need to work for both. Majority of the entrepreneurs are only focused and consumed by the profit that they need to make. Collaboration. So collaboration is again something that we are meeting here for, and collaboration always allows us to know more than we are capable of knowing by ourselves. Collaboration is the fastest way to growth. That's the reason we have got the concept of mergers and acquisitions. That is the shortest and the fastest way to grow. Once upon a time, I used to have 43 institutes of St. Angelo's Computer Education in Mumbai. In 43, more than 30 were acquisitions. Acquisition is you get the setup, you get the location, you get the students, you get the staff, you get something which will take you a year to build. So you have earned a year's time. As we grow in age, we realize that apart from earning profits and creating valuation, we need to earn time. How can we do 5 years activity in a year's time is nothing but again adding to your profitability and multiplying your valuation. Fundraising, a critically important point, because an entrepreneur without funding is a musician without an instrument. How can you raise funding at the right time, but do not raise funding just for the sake of funding? Only when you have a game plan in mind, fund needs to be raised. That is point number one. Point number two is raise as late as possible, raise as high as possible, and try to get the best value as possible. Fundraising in desperation is putting yourself into trouble. Fundraising should happen only for expansion and nothing else. Fundraising should not happen for sustainability and existence. So if there are some golden rules to be followed, fundraising really can be a very good format of growth. And I always tell people that equity should be sold only to strategic investors and never only to people who can give you money and be dormant investors. A smart entrepreneur will multiply his growth only if he gets strategic investors on place who will not only give him money, but will also give him ideas, will also open up new markets, and will also give captive business for growth. The real money and the sweetest money is the customer's money. There is no money sweeter than the customer's money. But beyond that, if you want to raise money, it should be a strategic investor and never a pure investor, as far as possible. Financial discipline, we all know this. We all manage finances on a daily basis. Financial discipline is critically important. When the money realizes that it is in good hands, it wants to stay back and multiply further. I love to also say, money in good hands builds the society. So good people with good money will definitely add a lot of value to the society and the economy of the country. Financial discipline is critically important. You really need to do your own audits on the expenditure that you're incurring, whether it is worthwhile or you should change some heads of expenditure which can make your efforts and investment and expenditure more productive. So financial discipline is critically important. Exit strategy. In business, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. With every business model that we have, let us not have the greed to continue it for centuries together or generations together. There might be better opportunities coming up. These are changing times and the time changes so fast that before blinking, it's already a new era. So if you decide to get into an exit strategy, please make sure that you achieve the best deal, not only for yourself, but all the stakeholders along with you. And your stakeholders would be your employees, your vendors, your investors, and your customers. So have an exit strategy in mind if you want to Really, so I met with an entrepreneur yesterday evening. The only conversation that he had with me was where can he deploy the surplus money that he has earned from an exit strategy that he implemented in the previous business that he was in. Okay, so lots of venture capitalists in the country have got that kind of money because they exited some business, earned a lot of cash, and now their biggest worry is where do they deploy that cash to multiply it further. So that's how exit strategy can help you. It can make you the venture capitalist, make you comfortable for the rest of your life, and then once you get money through exit strategy, you can definitely divide and decide on how that money can be used. One, to take care of your current needs for the rest of your life. Second is to play a safe game in some good business. And the third side, 33% can be investing into risky opportunities which can make your money 100x or zero. But that's what entrepreneurship is all about. Profits and benefits are directly proportionate in the risk-taking ability that you possess. So this was my presentation, and thank you so much for patiently listening to me. या तो आपको सब कुछ समझा या तो आपको कुछ नहीं समझा. There was pin drop silence and I was the only man making noise. If anybody wants to ask any questions, I'll be happy. Yeah, Sangeet Kumar. I can take 5 questions.
Ganesh, fantastic job and amazing.
You're on, Sangeet.
Okay, fantastic. So I've seen number of presentations. One single breath, you did this presentation. And I don't think you need the slides, it's right there in your blood, in your mind, in your heart. So, one thing which you just now said about mentorship, right? I think that's the biggest gap right now which we have. There are a lot of advisors, a lot of mentors, but I have experienced, and this is with my personal experience, a lot of times when the entrepreneurs are looking for for mentorship, sometimes even the mentor himself is not being able to give the right advice. How does an entrepreneur select that mentor? Because that mentor is going to be a very important, and he or she will be playing a very important role in the entrepreneur's growth journey. So how do we select a mentor is very important. If you can share your personal thoughts on this.
So I absolutely agree with you, Sangeet, and it's not the lady or the man that you select in your life to spend the rest of your life with. That's also a choice. And life is a combination of the multiple choices that you make. Some go right, some go wrong. The wrong ones give you knowledge of what not to do the next time, and the right ones take you far away ahead in life. Selecting a mentor is as important as selecting a life partner or a business partner or the kind of business that you do. You might go sometimes wrong, you might have to correct yourself at the next choice that you make. And a mentor should not be permanently the same mentor forever, because you also need to keep changing your mentor. Like the more money you keep making, you start with a Maruti 800 and you reach up to a Rolls Royce and then a private jet. You need to keep changing your mentors also, because the canvas of your life needs to get bigger and bigger by the day, till a time comes that your canvas will be bigger than the current mentor that you have. You move to the next mentor. And you also need to understand one thing. At the end of the day, when you fall back on bed, if you can just run through the happenings of the day, on what are the pluses and the minuses of the decision that you took, and what is the role that your mentor played in those decisions, and what were the outcomes of those decisions, you'll understand that whether I'm being mentored in the right way, whether I'm being mentored by the right person, or whether should I change the mentor and the format of mentoring. So it's an ongoing process. It's just like going to a doctor. No doctor is the best doctor. There is always a better doctor. You get me? So some medicines work on you positively, some medicines you're not happy with, you're not getting the results, you go to a better doctor through other further referencing, and then you change your decision of the doctor. Mentor is a similar thing, but mentor is mandatory. You might get a good mentor, but there is always a better one waiting. It is like opportunities. If you miss one, it's like a bus. You miss one, there is a next one coming. Similar to that. But the point you made is critically important. Mentor is important and a must. It is not necessary that a mentor is a Ratan Tata. Your mentor, somebody that you can learn from, can be your driver also. There are little nuances of life that you can learn from everybody around you, and everybody is really teaching you and coaching you, directly or indirectly. What is learning is not our active mind. What is learning is our subconscious mind. Suddenly we start imbibing the minds of the people that we like. If you make a list of the top 5 people that you know and you like and you admire, Suddenly you'll realize, oh, my qualities are now matching his qualities also. So mentoring need not be sitting across the table with a pen and a paper and making notes and doing an exercise and filling up a puzzle game and then coming out with the outcome. Mentoring is whom you admire and what you can learn from them, and also have a formal mentor. Yes, Amit.
You talked about importance of networking. तर तुमचा एका श्रीलंकन क्रिकेटर बरोबरचा जो अनुभव आहे तो जर तुम्ही शेअर केला तर सगळ्यांना कळेल. अँड ऑल्सो टॉक अबाउट इम्पॉर्टन्स ऑफ ब्रँडिंग.
So you're a brand yourself. People buy you first before they buy your product or service, because what they buy you is your personality, and what your personality should exhibit is confidence, integrity, dependability. This is the kind of personality that you have. So every entrepreneur is a brand in himself first, and then the brand is his organization and the reflection of both on each other. The story that Amit is wanting to tell me is once I was traveling on a tube in London. The man sitting next to me was somebody familiar. So at the end of the travel, I just asked him, "Do you play cricket?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Are you Roshan Mahanama?" And he said, "Yes." And the rest is history. Then he started and coming and staying with us. We started going and staying in Sri Lanka. He introduced me to the president of Sri Lanka. The president of Sri Lanka's son-in-law became a good friend. And the list is endless. So whenever I take a flight, whenever I travel somewhere, suddenly an unknown person can become such an important person of your life that you can tell a long story and you can write multiple books on that. Networking is critically important. I have benefited a lot from that. I'm sure each one in this room who's here has also benefited a lot from networking. And branding is critically important because brand is something that the people expect from you. You need to build the right brand in the minds of people. Even how you behave becomes a part of your personality, which is recorded as a brand in the mind of the other person. Like I know people, 10:30 बज गया, मतलब वो 10:30 बजे, that person will be on or before 10:30. So that is a brand in your mind about that individual, कि ये बंदा टाइम पर पहुंचेगा ही पहुंचेगा. There are some people जो बोलते हैं कि 10:30 बजे बोला है, 11:15 बजे तक तो आ ही जाएगा, और अगर थोड़ा ज़्यादा जनरस हुआ तो 11:30 बजे तक आ जाएगा. So we become brands in the minds of people. Similarly, our business becomes a brand in the minds of people. What happens? What are the emotions that get triggered when you hear the name Tata? Yeah, it is trust, it is reliability, it is dependability, it is good business, it is social business. All those emotions get triggered. We need to trigger the same kind of emotions for our businesses and ourselves in the minds of the people who are around us. When I say around us, does not mean in our geographic range, but across the world, because today there are no geographical boundaries. The whole world is one country. So branding is critically important, and you really need to work towards making yourself the right brand. Yeah, Harish.
Rajesh, I have seen you for the last 11 years.
You are appreciating or complaining?
I want the people in this room to know. I'm asking him a personal question. What is the quality of your routine that you want people to know, learn, and be consistent about? That's one. Two, in the room there are some people who would love to be entrepreneurs and who would love to be great entrepreneurs. I've seen you grow 100x, and I'm being honest. 2012 and today is 2023. What have you put in yourself that the person you have become today is reaching out globally? And I have some great stories with you, but today we want to listen, learn, and bring that into ourselves. So please share. You gave us a long list of things to do to become an entrepreneur. What did you personally do year on year? And how much discomfort did you entail? And what is it that you're seeing for yourself in the short term and in the long term? Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Harish. I'll take the second question first. When you love what you do, life is a picnic. So most important is what is your happiness quotient? That is a critical element of your life. So if you love what you do, life is a picnic. What made me grow in the last 30 years or 35 years of my entrepreneurship journey, 37 years of my entrepreneurship journey, is having a growth mindset. Have a learning mindset. Always be ready to absorb whatever new you see, whatever you didn't know, and always be hungry for knowledge. So I'm absolutely hungry all the time. I keep learning. I keep observing. Observations is one of the best formats of learning. Like, I have already caught some personalities. I don't know you people's names, but I know the way you are hearing, and I can understand what you must have grasped. So observation is a great skill to develop, and this comes by practice. And when you practice, you become perfect. So having a growth mindset is the most important aspect. Never think of, I know it all type of an attitude. Then you get saturated. Your mind doesn't absorb. You throw out all the good things coming to you. Having a growth mindset is most important. Please never have a fixed mindset. Ki aise hi hoga. Never have a prejudiced mind, because everything that happens around you is situational and circumstantial. In a different situation, in a different circumstance, the result for the same activity would be different. So don't have a prejudiced mind. Don't be prejudiced about somebody. Don't be judgmental. We always like to pass judgments on things happening around us. Don't try to be judgmental. If you follow these elements, probably you'll have an absolutely strong growth mind. Now the first question of yours, what's the routine? Okay, so I make it a possibility. I love being an entrepreneur. I do more than 20, 25 businesses together. I'm a global entrepreneur. From my young age, I used to always think that why should I work only in Mumbai or in Maharashtra or in India? I would want to be a global entrepreneur. So whatever you think of really happens. Yeah. So on my visiting card, I used to print global entrepreneurship many, many years back, where I didn't have any business beyond Greater Mumbai. And today we are into multiple countries across the world. Subconscious mind plays a very critical part in your life. मतलब वो शाहरुख खान का डायलॉग है ना कि कोई चीज़ को अगर आप सच्चे दिल से पाने की इच्छा रखते हो, हासिल करना चाहते हो, तो पूरी कायनात इकट्ठा होकर आपको उस चीज़ को हासिल करने में मदद करती है. That is actually true. That is what happened with Shahrukh Khan also. That is what just happened with me, and that is what is happening with all of you in this room also. So you need to have bigger thoughts. You really need to manifest well. 3 magic words of my life: manifestation, law of attraction, destiny. I manifest very creatively. Law of attraction gives me the right resources to achieve that manifested thoughts, and destiny reshapes after those resources are really well utilized. So always remember 3 aspects: manifest well, the law of attraction will give you the right resources to achieve that manifestation, and your destiny will change. But whatever you do, whatever you do, one word which should be the center of your life is impact. What is the scale, size, and speed of impact that you are creating with every decision that you take and every decision that you implement? If you focus on these 4 words, impact, manifestation, law of attraction, and destiny, your life will dramatically change. Growth mindset should be your personality. That is a suggestion that I make. And your day should be well utilized. The most expensive currency that we use on a moment-to-moment basis is the time. You can really leverage it well. I try to do gymming most of the times. Hota nahi hai, 3-4 बारी होता है. But that is the only weak part of mine. That's why I'm pleasantly plump. But if discipline of exercise can come in, Neeraj is fit and fine like a fiddle. But if you can bring in exercise on a regular basis, ultimately health is wealth, and pandemic has taught us some very important lessons related to immunity and sustenance of our well-being. So I begin my day with learning. I conclude my day with learning. I'm a huge YouTuber. I listen to a lot of good content every single day. That's what keeps me in the growth mindset, and that's what gives me new brilliant ideas which I keep implementing. And remember, friends, one last statement before I conclude. No idea is good enough if it is not implemented. If you find the idea to be good, don't ponder about it. Just take it, implement it, and change your destiny. Thank you so much, and have a God bless day.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful speech. And I would request you to please be on stage for a little more while. So I would request you to please be on stage for a little more while. You know, this session was truly, truly very informative. I am taking quite a lot of things from this session, and that's what I love my job, you know. I learn and I get paid for it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, So I would just allow me to felicitate you. I would like to call upon Mr. Neville Sangvi on stage. Can you please have a round of applause, guys? Thank you. And Mr. Agnelorajesh, can you please join us on stage? And Mr. Ganesh Gokhale. Thank you so much, sir, for gracing this event with your presence. We are truly, truly honored. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call upon our next guest, who's a serial entrepreneur, Australian citizen, founder of Entrepreneur Excel community of 70,000 entrepreneurs across the globes. Partner with Pooja Bedi at Happy Soul Wellness Wonderland and with Anil Goyal in CAP 17. Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a big round of applause for Ms. Namrata Thakkar. I would request you, ma'am, to please come on stage and introduce our wonderful panelists for the day. Thank you. Okay. Hand mic.
It's working now. Good afternoon, everyone. Are you all hungry? I got my black coffee. Did you all get? Okay, so first of all, I really acknowledge every one of you for being here Saturday morning. We could have been anywhere else. What my mentor Rajesh spoke about manifestation, we all are manifestation to be an entrepreneur. Yes, no, that's why we are here, to network. So before we start the panel discussion, how is it going? Superb. Yes? So what is next? Who is going to come on the panel? Any guesses? Yes? Okay. So I was just checking whether you all are awake or no. I know some of you got scared knowing some facts about business, which I also learned very late. The people who come to us are more for exit clause than more of mergers and acquisition currently, because people just jump into the business. So first panelist, I would like to call he is an advocate, and he got a doctorate, Harshul Savla. Can I see him? Where is Harshul Savla? He's a real estate consultant, tycoon of Mumbai, and he's got multiple awards. Welcome, Dr. Harshul Savla. The second on panel is, you heard someone there, and one is going to 1, 2, 3. The next one is the jewelry influencer. Any jewelers in the room? Super. Only one? Wow. 2. Okay. You love jewelry. Okay. So since 20 years, all the jewelers look up to her. She's been India's first jewelry influencer, and she is also specialist in wedding jewelry. Ladies and gentlemen, you should follow Prerna Makhija. Come on, if this way you will not get the tips. Friends, the takeaway which you don't get from books, you have got from today morning. So if you give more claps, you'll get more energy and more learnings. Please welcome them with joy. And the next panelist is, you just heard him, Mr. Robin. Where is he? Yeah, Mr. Robin Banerjee. Yes, I just saw you. Yes, so you heard him, his intro. Like 20 years experience in multinational companies, and he is a board of director in many companies, and he's given some eye-opening messages just now, and we want some more. Welcome, Mr. Robin. Yes. And next is my own mentor. He said that mentor keeps on changing, but I still follow him. So he is a social and serial entrepreneur. We heard him founder of Global St. Angelo's Computer Limited, and also businesses in multiple countries like India, Dubai, Singapore, London, and I know it is many more. So please welcome Agnelorajesh Athare. Welcome. And I have to introduce this man, and he will come and introduce himself because I have not yet got his introduction. Please, can I call you here? I was waiting for your introduction, but I think everyone knows you. Can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, friends. I came as a guest here because of Ganesh. He just gave me a call, and I have been invited to be on the panel. So it's a pleasure to be here with Harshul, who's a very good friend of mine. Rajesh, he's been a wonderful friend. Nice to meet Namrata, and I was fantastic 25 minutes of finance, which we heard from Robin, sir. Well, I'm a real estate entrepreneur, and the last 5 years, I have pivoted to a journey where now I am consulting, and I do a lot of mentorship. That's why I asked him how good a mentor should be. So let's continue, Namrata. I think you can ask questions, and more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
So panel, last minute special entry is arrived. Thank you for accepting that. Yes, we start. Yes.
This is the first time, so I'm a little bit nervous, by the way. So please excuse my nervousness.
Okay. The topic is for the panel, technology, innovation, investment, and networking. What would you like to start from? Because I know very soon they are going to stop. We just have 30 minutes and we have 5 people. You'd like to start on technology? Investment. Investment, I think Agnelorajesh gave a very beautiful insight. But yes, we will start with investment. So for investment, let's start with our property expert who is sitting here and the youngest icon. So anyone you think that today in Mumbai it is smart to buy property, gold, or startup mein invest karo? What should we do, Harshul? What do you suggest on investment? Where should we invest our 1 crore, which everyone has who is sitting here? Where should they invest?
So 1 crore in the city that we are in, from real estate perspective, is a very tough ask, practically. But, I'll give you some perspectives. Usually, when we look at real estate, everyone thinks residential. There's so much more to real estate. There is office, there is retail, there is warehousing, there's data centers, and now you have REITs and fractional ownership. So if one is looking at real estate in a very organized format where there is governance, fractional ownership and REITs are the forums where even with a ticket size of 5 lakhs or even with a ticket size of 50,000, one can enter into real estate and take benefit of the same. Gold has always been a preferred asset class, especially with the women, and it's a hedge against the inflation. So irrespective of whatever the comments are on it, people will always invest in gold. And whenever there is a currency change, demonetization or currency outflow, I think gold and real estate are the 2 preferred asset classes where the money really flows out. Barring that, I was hearing the thoughts on crypto, bitcoins, and multiple things. So I think clearly gold and real estate would be the preferred asset class so far as I'm concerned.
So you would not suggest investing in startups, MSMEs, and SMEs?
Startups, of course, but it's a very specialized niche. I mean, we always hear positive stories. We hear 1000x, 100x unicorns. But what we fail to understand is that behind one successful startup, there have been at least 1,000 who did not make it over there, and a lot of investment money has flown. Startups in real estate have also started. A recent startup burnt 280 crores of the investors. And these stories sort of shake you up that if you have money that you can forget, and if you have the skill to invest, then look at startups, because while it can give you exponential growth, but the success stories are highlighted, glorified, but the failures or the ones that did not make it for different reasons, they are not really told. So a very different picture is painted in media around startups, but I think the reality on ground is very different, for multiple reasons. It's not really only about the entrepreneur, but there are a lot of macroeconomic environment factors which really impact, the growth story for the investor.
Amazing. So any of you wants to buy property in 50,000 and 5 lakhs, you can definitely contact Harshal. And if you have money which you can forget, then invest in startup. That's what you are saying. Huh? Yeah, you can definitely add. You have a mic, right?
Hello. So I think investment, again, we all need to understand, why are we going to be investing for, right? So obviously you have the share market to invest. Now we have a lot of data available, there's a lot of information available, there is a lot of research is available. So I think it's very important that we all need to be an intelligent investor. So we have a lot of forums, we have a lot of ways where you can understand. So now talking of just taking a cue away from what Harshul said, even in real estate, we are having a lot of structured investment opportunities, okay? So we have Rajesh here who does villas. Now there are these villas which can be rented out and which are being rented out. They give you a fixed return and you can invest in those kind of villas. So there are a lot of structured investment platforms which have been created. There are a lot of structured ways you can invest money. Even now when we talk about startups, we have a very big gap. We have right now more than 1 lakh so-called registered startups. We still don't have that many angel investors. It's the right time. There are a lot of platforms, a lot of media companies which are, trying to educate you as an investor how to become an angel investor. So I think the time is right, especially all those, the youngsters over here and those who are, wanting to be an investor. This is the right time to learn how to invest. Once you know how to invest and you learn the nuances of investment, I think the next few years, we are on a growth. India is already the 3rd largest economy. There's a lot of money which we can make, a lot of wealth which can be created. Thank you.
Very, very important message. I recently now, because I was going to Prerna, but because what he said, I think I go to Agnelorajesh, because I have seen, I'm not know whether I'm supposed to say this or no, but Rajesh always invest in different sector, whether it is education, hospitality, real estate, and he is master of all. And recently he invested in a company which was approved by Shark Tank, but the finance was given by Agnelorajesh. Are we supposed to say that or not say that? You can say that, no? Okay. I'm not saying the name. Can you tell about your investment? Why did you invest and how you took? And I was there in that negotiation deal, and Rajesh rightly said, you in life, you are not where you deserve. You are what you negotiate. And I was amazed to see that negotiation, and he cracked the deal. Rajesh, please, can you talk something about your experience?
Well, to go ahead with what Namrata said is, so Shark Tank negotiated a good deal for me, and I took the deal from them. It's all about speed of actions. When you negotiate, you finalize the terms and conditions, but then you also need to cut the check. So this is this group of youngsters, brilliant youngsters, just 21 years of age, probably 10x of what I was at my age of 21. And I was really floored with their enthusiasm, passion, and involvement in that particular business. Unfortunately, Shark Tank promised them investment, but it didn't happen for the last 9 months. So after I invested, now they are also again investing. So we are going to be on the same cap table. So in terms of investments, since that's the topic currently, I prefer to invest only in growth companies. Growth investment is critically important. And secondly, it should not be for customer acquisition. In every business today, customer acquisition is becoming the most expensive cost, because of which companies go bust, and the justification that they give is burn rate. I am not a guy who believes in burn rate concept. That's my appetite for investments. So growth investment. But I would also like to touch on the investments in the property part. Since I'm a developer, I've done a lot of real estate development, and what Harshul said was, so friends, the backbone of investment of every human being on planet Earth, whether it is you, me, Elon Musk, or Bill Gates, is property. I'll tell you how. And it can touch every investment that you do. Any investment which gives you financial leverage is a good investment. Property is the only investment where for just 20% of your contribution, you get 80% from the financial institution. The repayment period goes from 20 to maximum 30 years. In some countries, you have to service only the interest component. Now, what basically happens is, every property keeps growing in value because of the population and the development of that particular area. Subsequently, the same asset can be repeatedly leveraged every couple of years. That leverage money can be invested to buy gold, it can be invested to buy stocks, it can be invested to take equity in some growth companies or some good companies. So real estate can be a good ploy to get these things done, positive ploy to get these things done. And always remember, friends, the bank is interested only in their interest. They are not interested in the growth of the value of the property. So you tend to take an advantage. Secondly, the thumb rule calculation about calculating interest is, suppose if you buy a property worth 1 crore, you get a loan of 80 lakhs. Worst scenario is you'll pay an interest of 80 lakhs on that. So you buy 1 crore property and you are paying back 1 crore 80 lakhs. 80 lakhs of principal value plus 80 lakhs of interest, that is the interest that gets calculated over a tenure of 20 years as a benchmark. But that property after 20 years, that 1 crore rupees ka property will be a minimum of anywhere between 5 to 20x. Minimum of 5 to 20x. So I've invested in properties 30 years back. The multiples have gone crazy. If you look into your personal lives, the properties that you must have bought or your parents must have bought have multiplied multiple times. So leveraging property with bank loans is the best investment that you can do. And it is a positive stress to repay the payment of any property repayment. So the positive stress is called eustress, E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S. All of us need to have eustress in our lives because eustress gives us the appetite and the motivation to grow in not only in our businesses but also in our revenues and profitability. So property is number one asset to be invested into, and then you leverage this property for multiple other aspects. I have seen bankrupt companies selling off their properties, repaying their loans, still taking back money home, and they becoming venture capitalists. So that's my faith on properties.
Amazing. I'm seeing a smile in Harshal's face. Just look at that smile. He's so happy.
And one last tip about properties. Buy properties which has a worst infrastructure in place today. Buy properties in the direction where there is a traffic jam. Buy properties where there is water problem, road problem, potholes. Buy properties in that direction. The advantage is you will get to buy it at a very economical cost. Wherever the infrastructure is bad, the politicians to win the votes take the development of that area very, very shortly, because as public complaints increase, the development starts happening in those areas. For the politicians, the income is in the expenditure. So they want to spend for the infrastructure so that they can also generate revenue, legitimately, illegitimately, whatever way it is. But you tend to benefit because as the development in the area that you have invested in happens, suddenly you will see that the multiples are fantastic. In 2002, Mira Road was 800 rupees a square feet. I went to Mira Road 15 days back for a function and I was shocked to see that it was looking better than a Kandivli or a Borivali. And the prices have gone up to 20,000 rupees. Just imagine 2002, 600 से 800 रुपए का रेट था, आज 20,000 हो गया. क्यों? The infrastructure development has become fantastic. Their internal roads are the width of the highway that we are having on Western Express Highway. So always invest in locations which are suffering on the infrastructure front.
Very important message. Now, it's really eye-opening. Now over to Prerna. Prerna, you wear such beautiful jewelries every day, uncut diamond, and you are posing. So is it right to invest in jewelry, or should you buy gold or diamond bars or something like that?
Good afternoon, everyone. So, the first thing is that in India, the first thought is jewelry is an investment. We fail to understand difference between an emotion and an investment. So when you invest in bullion is where you are investing money and it grows multiple folds. When you buy jewelry, the first thing is you buy with an emotion. But by default, हम ये सोचते हैं इसका return value क्या आएगा. But आप ये नहीं सोच रहे हो, you're buying it for Diwali, you're buying it for engagement, for wedding. So you're playing on the emotion factor first instead of the investment factor. आप ये नहीं सोचोगे कि यार मैंने आज engagement ring ली पर 5 साल बाद मुझे इसको बेचना है. आप ये सोचोगे कि ये मुझे lifelong चलने वाली है. I'm going to wear it till probably my last breath. So the difference is that people need to understand between an emotion and an investment. So when it comes to jewelry, I think investing in bullion is a smarter way to invest. Jewelry, yes, will give you a return, but the intention of buying the jewelry has to be different from the investing part of it.
But people always think jewelry and investment is same. That's what I've
Absolutely.
heard.
It will give you a value back because your gold will always give you the value to the market value. Your diamonds will give you a value to the market value. But the thought process has to be different. You're not investing in jewelry, you're investing in emotions because you're buying it with that emotion.
So sorted now. Just buy real estate now. Invest in real estate. वो खुद ही बोल रही है.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Jewelry and emotions, that's a good thought, Prerna. I know how you market your jewelries and everyone buys it and every jeweler contacts you to sell their jewelry.
Well, it's how we say that, stories sell. It's basically, even when you're talking about real estate, it's how you beautify that building and you sell it to the client. So it's the same way for jewelry, that, you beautify it and how you present it to the client.
Amazing. Yes, over to Mr. Robin. Robin, you are an independent director in IICA, which I read your profile. It was very interesting. So you sit in board of many, many companies as a director. What do you see? Where the investment and what do you always give suggestions to them?
Investments are always done, needs to be done, where there is a demand-supply gap. And most of the investments, unfortunately, are done without knowing what is the demand-supply situation. So inside the boardroom, most discussions will happen because the entrepreneur himself or herself feel that we need to put up a plant. We need to add a machinery. We need to get into another business. But very little time and effort is made or spent on why are we going to spend? Why are we going to enhance capacity? Why are we going to that business? Is there a demand-supply gap? This is the crucial investment decision for anything. Now, even for gold, gold has gone up. If you look at last 6 years, fantastic investment. If you look at 50 years, gold hasn't even given half of what the equity market has given. Gold hasn't even paid for the inflation. The average inflation of the country has 5%, and the gold in the last 50 years has given about 4 to 5%. That's all it has given. But you never know when the spurt is going to take place. When it is going not, it also falls, gold. Gold, like crypto, actually gold has no utilization. People say cryptocurrency, देखो gold value कितना बढ़ रहा है, crypto भी value बढ़ेंगे ना. But in gold, you know demand supply. What is the supply? We know how much gold the world has. Who buys gold? 90% gold is bought by the women of 2 countries. There are 200 countries in the world. 202, 198 place the Olympics. 200 countries in the world. But the 2 countries buy all the gold, 90% of the world. India and China. There are nobody else who buys gold. 10% of the gold goes from the balance 196. So we know what's the demand, what's the supply. I'm not going to second guess you that gold is a good investment, bad investment, because my wife will kill me if I say gold is a bad investment. My mother will come out of the grave and say, what the hell are you talking about? But the bottom line is, it was of course on a lighter moment, but just to say that as a person who is taking a decision, please decide on investments. I'm not talking about mutual funds, land, building, gold, but when you are actually putting up a plant, machinery, equipment, new business, please look at the demand-supply gap. That's the heart and soul of any investment logic.
I think I would like to add to that. When we talk about gold, also there is transparency when you are buying at a certain value and you know what the market value is, you know what you're going to be selling it at. So that transparency for a customer really matters a lot, because how we said for demand and supply, you know exactly how much you're buying and how much you're selling. So that really...
Yeah, I got that, Prerna, but I actually didn't understand what Mr. Robin said. Robin, sir, should we invest in gold or gold bonds or no? Yes or no? It was very confusing.
Very simple. 5% of your investment fund, investable fund, should go to gold. Maximum 10%. Between 5 and 10%, take advantage of ups and downs, take advantage of fluctuations. Gold value goes up if the world is not doing well. When there is recession, everything else collapses, gold goes up, because people then try to invest in asset which possibly looks a better investment. Not more than 10% between 5 and 10%, 90% everywhere else.
Okay, so not more than 10% in gold. Again, that's eye-opening. Now, next topic, we move on. Investment. After investment, we'll go to networking. Friends, since 2 months, I'm seeing Ganesh and Sushil bringing up all here, every small details they have taken care of. And we have to see how this networking works and how it changes our life. So, little bit aspects of networking from Dr. Harshul.
So I had heard a very interesting quote, your net worth is your network. So, that stayed with me. And, it's really, we are humans and it's all about relationships. So, no matter how much paperwork you do, no matter what kind of documents you make, ultimately it's about the relationship. And that relationship really develops through networks. In the business that I am, 90% of my sales are through my networks. So people I know, people who I've traded with. And if anyone is buying a high net worth item, it's only through a word of mouth. One line saying, do it at your own risk. And that guy's not going to go ahead. So, your network is really going to determine the net worth. And really building it, putting energy towards, investing time towards building it is really, you can say it's business development. So the way I look at networking is, it is indirectly a form of business development, both on the supply side as well as demand side. So, it really supports your product building as well as sales. So, network never goes a waste. And as diverse the network, that much better. At times, people restrict themselves to their own sector, but I think that gives a very myopic view. You are very confined to the same kind of people, same kind of thought processes. So I always look at meeting a diverse audience, so that gives a better perspective to things.
So, Harshul, you think today you're going to meet some amazing people?
Already met. Yeah, of course.
Great. Awesome. Yes, over to you, Prerna. What is your view on networking?
My mentor used to always tell me, people follow people. And I think that's one funda I've always applied, and it's worked for me also, because the first thing as an influencer, when I open Instagram, is I'm seeing who are the people I follow and what content I want to see for them. And I'm sure it would be the same for people who are following my page. And one of the examples, that's how I met Namrata through a friend. So, it is all channelizing how you meet different kinds of people. And especially for an influencer, networking is really very important for me, because connecting with PR agencies, meeting new people, because that's how you build the page for people to follow your page. The first thing I would, meet someone and tell them is, I would talk about my Instagram and I would say, hey, did you check out this post on prerna.makharia? And they would open the Instagram and check it, or, they would see what am I up to and stuff. So that, I think it really has worked for me, because an influencer, it is our best way of connecting with people.
Thank you, Prerna. Yes, over to you, Robin.
I will give you a different tack of of course, net worth. Your net worth is your network. And as Prerna said, as an influencer, network is what it's all about. I'm in the board of IIC, as you said, Namrata, that IIC, Indian Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, it trains independent directors. And many of you, I'm quite sure, are aspiring to be an independent director. Many of you must have already been in the IICA register. In order to become an independent director, you have to be on the register of IICA, and that's where I'm the board member of. So what I'm exposed to a lot of people who are wanting to become an independent director. That's their dream, to become an independent director. Very good. So the biggest question which I'm always asked is, how do I become an independent director? Do I have to pass an exam? Is there a website where I can go? Can I put my CV somewhere? It's all bullshit. If you want to become an independent director or director, which means you want to hold an important position, it all becomes of a network. It will only happen because someone knows you, and someone feels that you can contribute, someone feels that his or her vision matches with that of yours. It's all networking. If you want to get into, I'm only now focusing on independent directorship because many of you have this dream. it is only through networking. And the chairperson will only appoint you because he or she likes you, or or she has confidence in you. Otherwise, this will not happen through your CV, through your experience. Of course, your CV, experience, education does help, but at the end, it all boils down to networking.
Again, this is an eye-opening lesson, friends, because I've been seeing 1.5 lakh become an independent director and all that scams are also going on in media. And yes.
That's a scam.
Yeah.
That's a big scam.
And people are paying. I know some of my friends who have paid that, and they have not got placement, and this is how they are selling. So networking is the right key, not spending 1.5 lakh. Thank you, Mr. Robin, for that. Yes. Anything else? Yes. Networking to the networking king. Yes.
Hello. So I love to say that when you work on your network starts working for you. It's critically important. There is a concept which says to reach anybody in this world, there is only a maximum of 6 degrees of separation. Now you need to make sure that how that number can come down. Like if anybody wants to meet the President of the United States of America, you'll have only 6 people between you and him who can take you to him. For some people it might be 1 person, for some people it might be 2 people, for some people it might be 6 people. But then you need to work towards that network and make that network happen. So when you work on your network, a time will come when your network starts working for you. And that's what you should aim at. So consciously I got into businesses which not only gave me revenues and valuation, but which also gave me networking opportunities. So when we were operating, so I was always in the people business. The advantage of people business is the business gives you turnover, it gives you profits, it gives you valuation, and it gives you relationships. For example, I was into education, St. Angelo's Computers Limited. We were the largest computer education company in Mumbai, and we trained all government departments in the state. So that gave us access to every possible place where you need to depend on to do any kind of business that you want to do, especially real estate development. So that is one. Then now today we are into restaurants, again people business. So consciously, if you try to build your network aligned with any one of your business practices, it can be very helpful. So all of us need to be in the people business in some form or the other. If you can strategize that well, it is fantastic. But building a network is critically important because like I said, what is your degree of separation from the person that you want to meet is absolutely critically important. And many a times, you can meet somebody purely because of the reference that you had to reach that person. Most of the times, you would want to meet people who are beyond your personal capacity reach. But you know that one somebody who can just take you to that person and finish that requirement of yours. So please focus on your network. It's absolutely valuable, intangible asset of your life and your business.
Phenomenal. Friends, I know Mr. Rajesh since 4 years, and anyone whom I'll meet will tell me that he's my best friend since 30 years. And I always wonder why everyone tells 30 years, and they are his close friends since 30 years. So what is the secret of it? I really want to know. And today, Rajesh is just 1 degree away to connect anyone. So please make use of this network before he goes. I'm sure he's going to rush back. But Rajesh, how everyone is so close since 30 years? How you maintain that?
So there are multiple platforms where we are always associated with. One such platform used to be coaching us on Giver's Gain. When you give, you become a magnet. I understood Giver's Gain almost 15, 17 years back. But I've been implementing it right from my childhood when I started working. And I've been working since the age of 13. The biggest and the best advantage of when you start early is your network really grows with your age. And your network multiplies by the value add that you do to the people that know you or you know. So if you are a giver, people will want to maintain relationship with you and they'll keep coming back to you. And when your network gives you, it is multifold of what you would have given to the network in all your years of life. Relationship management is a very critical aspect of life. How you handle a relationship is critically important. People will not perpetually remember what you gave them, but people will never forget the way you treat them. So if you really treat them with respect, dignity, faith, and reliability, they will stand by you because every person has an ego. and every person needs to be treated well. So how we behave with people is one element that you should always be conscious about. Mindfulness is living in the reality. If I'm mindful about every relationship that I nurture in my life, it is fantastic. And you cannot act to be good. You genuinely have to be good. It cannot be a differential treatment to Ratan Tata and a differential treatment to the guy who's serving you in your office or your driver. Human beings have to be respected, right from the bottommost level to the topmost level. If you go to the developed country, what I like best about United States of America is everybody is equal. Even the president of America is treated the same way that the chauffeur of a car will be treated. There is absolute equality in real terms. If we start following that as a principle in our life, I think it makes a lot of difference. And people can tell you that I know you for 30 years or 40 years purely because you express love to them, you express respect to them, and you came handy to them or supportive to them in their times of need. And everybody has a life which has emergencies, and in emergencies, you need to be there on their hot dial list. If you can sustain that, your relationship will be a fortune.
I'd like to add to that. As an influencer, there are two things that has really worked for me as well. That every time we get any sort of a lead generation or a message on social media, we definitely reply back to that and connect with the person to take their name and number, because it's all about jewelry and it's about trust. So we need to connect with that person, and because of that, I've built networking in India and internationally a lot of places, so that now I know people who have not even met, but know them enough well that today if I just want to make a call in any country to any person who I know through Instagram, it's just a call away. So that really helped in one way. I mean, to another level where when I was traveling to Poland, an Instagram follower actually helped me plan my entire itinerary who I'd never even met. So that, that networking has helped because of that. The second thing is, through this entire channel of social media, it also helped me start building guest lists in different cities now. When I want to attend events or curate a guest list for people, an Instagram shout out or a Facebook shout out is enough to curate a guest list for people to attend an event. So I think that another way is a good way of networking.
So in COVID, we all have learned to do online and offline, both type of networking. It has made us expert in online networking. Who is not there on social media in this group? Everyone is there. So online networking has to be leveraged. Yes, very important point, Prerna. Yes, over to you.
I will take it right from there. In the last 2 years, right, during the pandemic and after the pandemic, I have really invested a lot of time on LinkedIn. So we have an influencer here. Everybody's an influencer here. We have learned people here. You have to invest time. Networking, खाली यहाँ पे आके और यहाँ पे आप सबसे मिलके वो नेटवर्किंग नहीं होता है. आज मैं यहाँ बैठा हूँ बिकॉज मैंने कल गणेश से बात की, गणेश ने मुझे इनवाइट किया, मैंने वो एक पोस्ट लिंक्डइन पे डाला, मैंने मेहनत करके मैंने जितने भी यहाँ पे लोग आए हुए हैं सबको टैग किया है. तो टैगिंग इज़ इम्पॉर्टेंट. तो आपको नेटवर्किंग करना जो है, जो अभी बात हुई ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन, देयर इज़ नो पॉइंट इन हैविंग फॉलोअर्स और जस्ट डूइंग पोस्ट ऑन लिंक्डइन और ऑन सोशल मीडिया एंड देन नॉट टेकिंग an effort to know that person beyond online. So this is, we are in the right phase right now where you have an opportunity to create content, to be online, to make your relations. Like we said, Prerna said she is already an influencer, so she already has followers. All of us cannot be influencers. We all of us are followers. Take an effort to know, and please make one effort for sure. Whenever you're attending this event, जैसे आप लोग यहाँ पे आज आए हैं, आपके पास पहले ही आपको पता गया, we have been given the creatives, you should know यहाँ पे कौन एक्सपर्ट हैं, कौन पैनलिस्ट हैं, कौन मॉडरेटर है, कौन यहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं, उनके बारे में आपको पता होना चाहिए. और वो अगर आपके बिजनेस के साथ, अगर उनके साथ में आपका अलाइनमेंट है, take an effort to go and meet that person. You should have that questions in your mind before you have come for this event. So if I'm into the jewelry business or I want to learn something about jewelry, I should have already have something in mind to ask Prerna. I should know a little bit more about her. Even if she is an influencer, even if she has 1 million or 10 million followers, if you give her and you tell her something which is of interest to her, which she likes, she will, get into a conversation with you. So it's very important to know the person, to make an effort in learning about that person. In your mind, you should have all the questions in your before you come for this event. That's my way of thought on networking.
So do your homework well before coming to this event. Who are there, who are not there. So I just got to know him before 1 minute of coming on the stage. So that was a surprise. Yes, friends, so technology and innovation, we'll take it in the next quarter. So now it's time for question answers because it's already 12:30 and I already got a message we are over time. So whoever wants to ask question, we'll take 5 questions, but please specifically say whom you want to ask the question and who will go first. Yes. No questions? Then I can go. Wow, they say, okay, yes.
So, Mr. Robin, I wanted your views on, they say gold is a global currency. So, what are your views on that?
Global currencies.
Gold is a global currency.
Gold is not a global currency. Gold is not a currency. Gold has no value. Gold has only value because if I give you gold, you will give value because you believe gold has a value. Gold has no utilization, no use, no usage whatsoever in the mankind. Historically, gold was a medium of exchange before currency came into existence. Before that, there was this barter system. If you wanted to get some rice, you would give your cow and get some rice and so on and so forth. Barter system went into gold. There is inadequate gold in the world, and therefore the currency system has been invented. All currencies in the world are now delinked from gold. So gold is not a currency. Gold could be a store of value for future. It was because the mankind gives value to the gold. If you give me gold, I will honor the gold. I will say, okay, you have gold there, ye le lijiye 5 lakh rupiya, because I value the gold. What will I do with the gold? Nothing. I will only think that someone else I will be able to pass on the gold and he or she will give a value for it. That's it. So if you are looking at gold as an international currency, no. International currency, should you invest in international currency? Answer is no. Because if you are a forex trader, if you are a foreign exchange dealer, then you would know. If you are involved in an investment banking, you would know how the dollar or rupee or a euro or a Chinese yen is going to move. Again, as an investor, all of us are Ram Janta. If you have to invest in gold, as I said, 5 to 10%, ideal is 5% of your investable surplus. If you want to invest in currency so that you can extract some value, I would again suggest another 5%. These are all speculative in nature, very difficult to forecast that tomorrow, what the price of tomorrow will be. Nobody can ever forecast the price of gold. Nobody can ever forecast the price of currency. Therefore, it is speculative. 5 to 10% is what we need to invest in. That's all.
Yes. Can you pass the mic there?
I have a question to Rajesh. Yeah, hi. I'm Dr. Chandravardhan from Wellington Institute. Yeah, I have one question with respect to networking again, because this is very relevant in today's date. As you have given one example from a cricketer to the president of the country, you could able to reach through the network and all. So most of the time I have seen most of the people are having a lot of reluctance to connect with the people because there is hesitation. So how, as an entrepreneur, we should remove the hesitation?
Thank you.
Okay, so a very dear friend's father had a very nice dialogue which we used to hear in our school days. जिसने की शर्म उसके फूटे करम और जिसने की बेशर्माई उसको मिली दूध मलाई. The biggest advantage of any American is he's bold. He can stand in front of anybody and talk. So these are the traits of a developed country. The gap between a developed country and a developing country is the attitude. तो हमको बहुत से बार है ना, we lose opportunities because we don't even stand up for something that we are good at. So my suggestion to anybody and everybody is, please be bold about who you are. You're not doing anything wrong about it, right? Always plan your life. If I take a flight, I'm always on 1A or 1B. Because I know बाजू में जो भी आके बैठेगा ना वो कोई इंपॉर्टेंट ही होगा. And I have done this for the last 25 years. 15 years back, Mr. Manor Joshi, our ex-Lok Sabha Speaker and ex-Chief Minister of Maharashtra, he wrote a book on that topic called 1B. He has written a book called 1B. So, you need to cultivate yourself. I also in my childhood would have been a shy boy. But you need to come out of that shyness. बिना मांगे भगवान भी नहीं देता, इसलिए हम जाके प्रार्थना करते हैं. Our prayer is what? Actually, we are asking something from God, right? कभी कभी bribe भी दे देते हैं, ये हो जाएगा तो वो कर दूंगा. You have to be absolutely communicative. You don't know the man sitting next to you would be somebody who can open up some large doors for you. So, on one flight I met Shakti Kanta. Shakti Kanta is our governor of RBI today, right? I met him, he was sitting next to me, and that time he was Principal Secretary Finance Ministry. And lots of custom officials in their white and white uniform came in to live in the aircraft. तो मैंने इतना महसूस कर लिया ये आदमी कोई तो भी बहुत बड़ा आदमी है. When the flight took off, I started my conversation with him. And let me tell you, some of the most interesting conversations happen with unknown people. And they give you some fantastic insights about what they do and what's happening in the country. You get your best information from there. I always tell people to read a lot of books. They help you to network. But I love to read people who have read a lot of books. So that is my shortcut to their learning. This can happen only if you're not shy. और क्या है मतलब अगला might be rude at one point of time, वो उसका bad luck है. Because he fails to explore who you are, right? He could have learned something from you. So do not be shy. Everybody in this room, my request to you all is, please be bold enough and take the initiative. Many a times the other person might not take. And surprisingly, sometimes when you take that initiative, सामने वाला फिर इतना बात करने लगता है कि you become the listener. But don't be shy. That's my saying. And that expands your network tremendously. You get your best friends on travel times. Always remember that. And the best travel, that time that you can have is on the flights, right? So henceforth, after, if there is a value to anybody who's there in this room now, on your next flight, become friends with the guy who's sitting next to you.
And keep flying also now. तो यहाँ से सीखने को मिल रहा है जितना ट्रैवल करोगे उतना आपकी दोस्ती और बढ़ेगी. थोड़ा एक्सपेंसिव है लेकिन प्लीज ट्रैवल.
The boldest person in the room, Harish Mehta. Yes.
Practice, and be a communicator for life. You'll get the best in every aspect.
That is real. When Rajesh said bold, I was thinking the boldest person in the room is Mr. Harish Mehta. The way he speaks, and when he speaks, nobody else cannot listen. Like, you have to listen to him when he speaks. Thank you, Mr. Harish Mehta. And we also have a LinkedIn expert over here, Neeraj Shah. Neeraj Shah ji, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे about networking, and LinkedIn master also you are. Would you like to add something? Networking topic, and Neeraj नहीं बोले ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. Yes, Neeraj.
Thank you, Namrata. Taken by surprise. Look, I've seen both the offline side of networking and the online. In this day and age, if you don't have an online footprint, then you're essentially invisible. You are limiting your opportunities. So it's very important that each and every day you are cultivating your digital presence and using that to add value and forget ROI, return on investment on networking. Focus instead on ROR, return on relationships.
Superb. That is excellent. So friends, now when we'll go for lunch break, I don't know what is it that next, make sure you make a lot of relations and contacts for next time. And any questions more? How much time we have? We have 2 questions. Yes, Pawan, over to you. Yes, Pawan.
So my question to Agnelorajesh sir. Sir, you said about the exit strategy for entrepreneurs. So which is the next wave according to you for investing in any startup and making multiple X?
So specific sectors in the current times, one is technology, definitely. Second is any organization using good technology, like the recent investment that I've done. It's an offline business, but has got very robust technology backing it. So technology, healthcare, education, edtech, finance sector, fintech, manufacturing, what Robin said, manufacturing, that's India is going to be big on manufacturing because of the opportunities that China has lost. Those opportunities are coming back to our way. So manufacturing is another opportunity zone. Valuation is sector independent. Valuation of an enterprise can be depending on the efficiency of that enterprise irrespective of the segment. Again, food sector is big, agriculture sector is big. So we have invested big time into the food part of it in a very big way because टेक्नोलॉजी कितनी भी आएगी, चैट जीपीटी आएगा, क्रिप्टो करेंसी के बारे में डिबेट्स होंगे, ब्लॉकचेन इंप्लीमेंट होगा, लेकिन आदमी रात को खाना तो खाएगा ही. So agriculture is a big thing. Agri-tech is again a good segment. Any business model which has got a tech backing has a good future to multiply your investments. So from that aspect, it's a very good, these are the major sectors. And of course, one common ingredient amongst all of them is technology. Even networking happens through technology. Like what she said about her Instagram account is nothing but a tech platform through which she is connecting with people.
Thank you.
We'll take one last question, and who is that?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Harshal. Regarding the property segment, there is agri land, there is selling is interlinked of Mumbai area, so like 1,000 square feet and 2,000 square feet. I just want to know about the legal terminology of this, properties, because some agencies are selling 2,000 square feet, but government says this registry part is something is different, Just I want to highlight on this investment part.
So see, there are two parts to what you mentioned. One is about fractional ownership. So where now SEBI's actually brought a white paper, a consultation paper, to call it MSME REITs and have criterias. Right now, unfortunately, in India, the way it is, first a scam needs to happen, and then the government wakes up, forms a committee, and then drafts the rules. It is the first time I've really observed that government is proactive, SEBI is proactive, and they've put up a consultative white paper to have some sort of regulations to this. Otherwise, there is no entry barrier. Right now, tomorrow, you can open your own fractional ownership platform, start marketing, bring in co-owners, bring in investors. The big question is exit. So how you really give them an exit. What SEBI is trying to do is put in a framework, bring market liquidity. So that is the terminology over there, which, MSME REITs is how this is going to be looked at. The second thing is around plotted developments. So what is also happening is there's a large piece of land and a lot of pickup after the pandemic has happened is around plotted developments where plans are getting passed and you're getting a piece of land. What you are going to do with that piece of land, who's going to build the structure, etc., is all going separate. It has a sea view, it's on a mountain, it is 100, 200 kilometers from the city, and people are marketing that, and it's getting picked up. So instead of taking a 2 crore home or a 2 crore investment in the city, people are preferring to invest in all of these. A word of caution, both of these require an in-depth study, and till the time this is not brought onto the MSME REIT platform, fractional ownership is actually extremely risky because you are completely at the mercy of the platform owner, not really knowing how the exit potential will be. Thank you.
Thank you all the panelists for wonderful insight. It was really eye-opening and some messages were very, very powerful. Can I request Zeenat to help me felicitate all the panelists?
Thank you so much, Namrata, for being such a wonderful moderator. And thank you, our wonderful panelists. The session was quite insightful, and I'm sure we're going back home with a lot of learnings. Thank you so much. And it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to felicitate you. So I would request Mr. Agnelorajesh and Mr. Robin Banerjee to please felicitate our wonderful panelists. Can we please have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, while we felicitate Ms. Prerna Makaria. ladies and gentlemen, for Dr. Avdesh Harshul Savla.
Harshil, can I request you to come between the, between Robin and Agnelo? Huh?
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please have a round of applause while we felicitate Ms. Namrata Thakkar. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the felicitation of Mr. Sangeet Kumar. Can we please have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you. Well, keep the energy going high because we're going to have a lunch session in few minutes. Well, maybe in half an hour. Thank you so much, our wonderful panelists. It was an absolute delight to have you all here. And thank you, Namrata, once again.